Dear boomers, is authoritarianism just about to be averted in America? That is the topic of Anthony Davis's show called The Weekend Show, which is on every Sunday night at 8 o'clock on Midas Touch Network. He's an Englishman. He has a beautiful voice, and he does these great interviews. And this time he interviewed Ruth Ben-Chat, who is an NYU professor, and she teaches about authoritarianism. Now, she's written 2 books. One of them has to do from Mussolini to the present time, Strong Men, and that's what she calls it. And the second book has to do with how to avert it in this country. So she talks about our election, and she talks about how she is an expert, and she is a very gentle soul. So authoritarian leaders, they try to, especially as there's a rise in civil rights and democracy, it triggers a backlash, and this backlash paves the way for a charismatic demagogue like Trump to assert his influence and question the efficacy of democratic systems. He has been doing this for the last 9 years, and it has had an effect. Why people believe him is totally unknown to me, and I must tell you that my mother years ago told me there would be a right-wing takeover of America, and the question is, are we able to avert it in the nick of time? So disinformation is a tool of this. Trump's strategic use of disinformation has had profound effects on public perception. And despite the economic growth and a robust democracy, which we have, the stock market, the lack of, I would say, we have great economic growth here, and we have the strongest economy in the world, and everybody looks up to us. If Trump wins, it's going to completely deteriorate with his tariffs and his cronies who want to dismantle the whole American system. Constantly talking about how America is failing, constantly saying it's garbage, it's a horrible place, and it's a very pessimistic. He reminds me of the bigots that used to target my family when I was young, because we were Democrats, but I think a little bit more than just Democrats. We were marching in the civil rights movement. We were very outspoken against the Vietnam War. My mother was targeted a number of times for her stance on democracy. Really, she was a democratic person. So authoritarian solutions are not the answer here in this country. We want to remain apart from Putin and from China and from Korea. We want to be who we want. And the thing is, we are somewhat responsible for this because we have dropped the ball on our democracy, and we have failed to be participants in our democracy. So the Autocratic Party capture, propaganda techniques, Ben Gott, Ruth, she draws parallels between Trump and historical strong men, illustrating how he has captured an entire political party, making it his personal tool. And this autocratic capture prevents opposition from forming effectively and echoes patterns seen in regimes globally. They often target education as it fosters democratic values and civic engagement. Trump's plans, supported by initiatives like Project 2025, aim to dismantle public education, replacing it with privatized and religiously driven alternatives. Now, she did mention that the homeschool movement is a right-wing movement, but I don't believe it really is. I don't think people want to send their kids to school if there's a possibility, which there always is, of being shot down by some madman gun addict. The power of Trump's personality, his cult, cannot be underestimated. Ruth Ben-Gott highlights how Trump, like past autocrats, masterfully uses symbolic moments to reinforce his image as an enduring, untouchable leader. Media figures and influential elites play a critical role in sustaining Trump's narrative. The endorsement of powerful figures like Mark Zuckerberg, referring to Trump's actions as badass, exemplifies this unsettling dynamic. Zuckerberg thought it was badass when Trump was shot at, and he put his fist up and said, who cares what he said? I certainly don't. So with the upcoming election, which is tomorrow, concerns rise about Trump's plans if he loses, when he loses. Ruth Ben-Gott warns of ongoing strategies and schemes that could lead to contested results or even violence, which is probably more than likely. However, she also notes that Biden's incumbency offers some guardrails because Trump is not the incumbent anymore. So Kamala's focus on hope and unity and joy and the values of multiracial democracy stands as a powerful counter to the authoritarian playbook. Ruth emphasizes the significance of building a broad democracy coalition to protect the nation's future. Now, this is something that we can all work together to do, and we want to protect the rights of everyone. And we want to protect the rights, of course, of reproductive freedom of women, gay and lesbian and transgender people. All people are humans, and we want to protect them. So as I was saying, my mother had been projecting this for a long time, and I was very mad at her when she told me about this authoritarian takeover in America, but she knew, because she was targeted. When I was a child, she was targeted, and she was targeted throughout her life. If you haven't experienced this kind of targeting, you may not realize the true potential of what danger this poses to American democracy. And, we have a lot of problems here, but I think the fact that we have a strong economy, we have the economy that is the strongest in the world, and Trump moves in with his ideas of tariffs and dismantling the rule of law, and then he has Robert Kennedy Jr., who wants to take over the health and get rid of vaccines, which he has often said. Having him as the head of these things is absolutely irresponsible. So, as we move forward, we will vote. I have not voted yet. I tried to vote this week. The lines were, I come from an era where we voted on the same day, and now that has really changed because now people are voting by mail and taking their ballots in early, and I tried to do that, but the wait was too long, and I saw a few friends in there. I saw a first-time voter. I said, "Are you voting for the women in your life?" He said, "Yes, he is." So the young people, the women, the Haley voters are not going to Trump in most cases. The boomers are for Harris. Which is very interesting because they have notoriously voted Republican, and often they voted for Trump in the past. There are many groups that have had it with the ugliness, the hate, the stupidity of Donald Trump. And I have no time for the idea that he knows what he's doing. I have no interest in Project 2025. I have no interest in trying to see if they really mean it or not. We don't care, because we are voting for democracy. There's going to be a film that shows up here. Take a look, and we'll talk tomorrow. Bye.